My beloved, you woke up carrying a weight you couldn't name, didn't you? That feeling just beneath the surface, like you are not quite allowed to be here, not fully, as if something about your life is an accident that hasn't yet been corrected. I saw the way you moved through the morning light with that question tucked behind your eyes. Why do I feel like I am not supposed to take up space? You didn't say it out loud, you never do, but I heard it anyway. I always do. You have become so good at hiding it, even from yourself, but it leaks out in the way you apologize for things that aren't your fault, in the way you hesitate before speaking, in how you over-explain when all you really needed to do was breathe. I was there when that lie took root, and I am here now to pull it out. No, you are not a mistake. You weren't born from chaos. You didn't happen by accident. And I never looked at you and thought, oops, even on the days when your heart wants to disappear, I am still calling you by name. You are not extra. You are not wrong for being soft or loud or tired or too much of anything. You are mine, crafted with intention, formed in the deep places of my own longing. I knew exactly what I was doing when I shaped your soul and placed you here. Even the parts of your story that feel messy and unresolved are still inside my hands. Your presence is not a problem to be fixed. It is a miracle to be welcomed. Let me tell you where that ache came from. Somewhere along the way, someone made you feel like your needs were too much, or your presence wasn't convenient, or your personality didn't fit the mold. And slowly you started shrinking. You tried to edit yourself down to the version you thought people would accept. That is when the voice of shame slipped in and whispered, maybe I shouldn't even be here. That whisper has echoed for years now, hasn't it? But it didn't come from me. I have never once asked you to be less. That shrinking voice, that impulse to disappear, that is not holiness. That is harm disguised as humility. I am here to unravel it. I see the way you have tried to earn your right to exist through performance, through perfection, through making others feel comfortable, even when it costs your peace. But you don't have to hustle for my affection. You don't need to be flawless to be fully loved. Even now, right now, before you fix anything, before you prove anything, before you become anything more polished than you are in this moment, I delight in you. I am not waiting for a better version of you to arrive. I am walking with the one who is here, the one who is weary, the one who wonders if they belong. Yes, that one. You take a breath. Let that settle in your bones. This morning isn't about striving. It is about seeing. Seeing yourself the way I see you, whole, worthy, and wanted. The world taught you to be impressive. I am teaching you to be beloved. That is the new rhythm I am inviting you into today. One where your value isn't determined by how useful you are, but by who you already are. My image is in you, not because you are doing everything right, but because I placed it there before you even took your first breath. You have carried invisible burdens long enough. Let me lift them. You have been trying to justify your presence, sometimes even to yourself. But you are not the result of a random string of events. You were dreamed of before time, spoken into being by joy. I knit you together with layers of intention, from the curl of your thoughts to the cadence of your voice. There is a reason why your laughter sounds the way it does. There is a purpose in your particular way of seeing the world. I placed every detail, like an artist, pouring heart into every brushstroke. I didn't just allow you. I wanted you. And here is something else I want you to remember. As you move into today, what you bring matters. Even if no one thanks you, even if it feels unseen, even if you think it is small, your kindness shifts atmospheres. Your honesty breaks chains. Your presence is not a silent background. It is a light I chose to place in this exact moment in history. I don't make background characters. I make image bearers. And you bear my image well. even on the days you doubt it most. So rise with me, not into pressure, not into performance, but into purpose. My mercies are new this morning, not just for your sins, but for your soul, for your unseen effort, for your hidden heartache, for your beautiful, intentional, not a mistake life. Walk into this day knowing this one thing: I have never once regretted making you. You have gotten used to reading rejection in silence, when people withdraw, when they don't respond, when they choose others over you. You assume it must be something you did, or worse, something you are. That is how deeply the lie has rooted itself, that you are inherently unwanted, that somehow you take up space in a world that doesn't have room for you. But I want to say this plainly now, so you hear it from my own voice. You do not have to shrink to deserve love. The ones who walked away were never your measure. Their absence is not your identity. Their silence is not your worth. You have spent so much time asking yourself, what is wrong with me? I hear that question even when it doesn't have words. I hear it in your tension, in the way you hold your shoulders too high, like you are always bracing for the next wound. You have internalized the distance of others as a reflection of your own inadequacy, but I never defined you by someone else's inability to see. I define you by what I placed in you, my breath, my beauty, my image. I define you by the cost I was willing to pay just to be near you, and I never flinch when I look at you. I stay always. Let me be clear with you now. The world's failure to recognize your value doesn't mean you don't have any. I see the treasures inside you that others overlook. I know the full span of your story, including the parts no one has taken time to understand. I know the reason behind your gentleness, your guardedness, your silence. I know how hard it is to hope again when you have spent so long bracing for abandonment, but I will not leave you. I am the one who sees and stays, and when I look at you, I do not see someone too complicated. I see someone brave enough to keep loving, even after the world tried to convince you that you were forgettable. You are not forgettable to me. Do you remember what I told my prophet in the wilderness? Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Not just your outline, not just your potential, not just your usefulness, but you, your soul, your wiring, your rhythms, your longings. Nothing about you is random. I called you forth on purpose. The very fabric of your existence is laced with eternal intention. When I breathed you into being, I didn't just assign you a life. I gave you a voice, a light, and a place. Even if no one else ever recognizes it, I do. And that recognition is enough to anchor you. This is the morning when I gently peel back the covering you have been hiding under. You don't have to live in survival mode anymore. You don't have to brace for rejection like it is inevitable. You are stepping into a new rhythm now. One where you are not performing for affection, but simply receiving it. Let your heart hear this again and again today. I delight in you. I enjoy you. Not because of what you offer, but because of who you are. There is no mistake in the way I formed you. No flaw in your design. Even your scars are places I am redeeming with tenderness. So come, step away from that mirror of comparison. Come out from under the judgments you have placed on yourself, and the ones others placed on you. I didn't ask you to be them. I asked you to be you fully, freely, without apology. And I will walk with you as you relearn what that means. You were not made to blend in. You were made to reflect me. That ache you feel, the one that seems to return at the quietest times, isn't just sadness. It is the residue of something deeper. The belief that maybe your life has always been one long, quiet apology, as if you are always trying to make up for simply existing. That belief didn't start yesterday. It came from wounds you were too young to name, moments when you needed comfort but got correction. Instead, when you reached out for affection and got withdrawal, those moments taught you to adapt, not to heal. You became careful. You became small. You started thinking, if I can just be better, maybe I will be loved. Right. But that is not the kind of love I created you for. I didn't wire your soul to be constantly scanning for threat. I didn't form your heart to live in fear of being too much or not enough. You were designed for open fields, not tight corners, for deep peace, not constant vigilance. The pressure you carry didn't originate in me. It came from people trying to make sense of their own brokenness and projecting it onto you. But I am not them. I am not another voice demanding performance in exchange for peace. I am not withholding affection until you get it all right. I am not waiting for the cleaned-up version of you to enter my presence. I am already here with you as you are. Let me say it clearly again. I never saw you as a burden. Even on the days you feel tangled in your own thoughts, even when your emotions feel too big, even when all you can do is get through the day, I still see beauty in you. I am not disappointed by your struggle. I am present in it like I was with Elijah under the broom tree, like I was with Hagar in the wilderness, like I was with the leper who said, "If you are willing," and I said, "I am." I am still saying it. I am willing. I am near. I am not afraid of your pain. You have thought your sensitivity was a weakness, but I made you that way on purpose. I gave you a heart that feels deeply, not to hurt you, but to reflect my own. I grieve with you in the places where you have been unseen. I weep with you over the labels that were put on your back without your permission. Too emotional, too complicated, too intense. But none of those words were mine. I have only ever said chosen, called, delighted in enough. These are your true names. You don't have to apologize for them. Do you remember when I said, I will restore the years the locusts have eaten? That includes these quiet years where you wondered if anything in your story would ever feel whole. These years when it felt like the harvest always passed you by. But I never forgot a single seed you planted in tears. I have seen every act of courage you made just by getting up again. And I am the God who restores not just time but truth. I am restoring the truth of who you are. Someone who was always meant to be here. Someone who was never a mistake. Someone who carries my fingerprints in every breath. You don't need to keep rehearsing your unworthiness. It is not yours to carry. That script of shame, the one that plays in the background of your mind. I am silencing it now. I am writing a new story. And you are not starting from zero. You are starting from already loved, already wanted, already chosen. Every painful part of your past can be healed, but only if you let go of the lie that says, I was never supposed to be because you were. You have been waiting for a sign that it is safe to believe this, that it is okay to stop apologizing for existing, that the world will not collapse if you start embracing who you really are. So let me give you that sign, not in thunder or fire, but in the quiet affirmation that keeps returning to you. You are allowed to be here, not just tolerated, not just endured, wanted, placed, held. This is me speaking that over you right now, as sure as the sun returned this morning. You didn't manufacture this hope. I placed it in you like a seed, and now it is beginning to rise. You have noticed it, haven't you? The way your heart responds when truth reaches it. That flicker of warmth when someone says something kind and it catches you off guard. That pause when you hear a word that goes deeper than expected. That moment of stillness when you feel tears rising and you don't even know why. Those aren't random. They are signs, not just of emotion, but of healing beginning. You have spent so long surviving, you almost forgot what hope feels like in your body. But I haven't forgotten. And I am not asking you to leap. I am only asking you to lean. Let me remind you what is already shifting. You are starting to recognize the lie faster than you used to. The voice that says you are unwanted still whispers, but now you catch it mid-sentence. You are beginning to question it rather than surrendering to it. That matters. It means you are healing. You are remembering not who the world said you were, but who I said you were from the beginning. And with each memory of that truth, something inside you strengthens. No, the pain doesn't vanish all at once, but the ground beneath your feet, it is getting steadier. This is the fruit of my spirit already working in you gently, faithfully, like the slow unfolding of morning light. You don't have to rush it. Just keep showing up. Let me be the one who rebuilds you from the inside out. Let me keep speaking truth into the places that used to echo with rejection. Let me show you how your life is more than recovery. It is redemption. Every step you have taken toward wholeness, even the small ones, are miracles in motion. Even now, heaven is bearing witness to the courage you show just by choosing not to disappear. I am not just telling you that you are never a mistake. I am showing you in the way I have surrounded you with reminders, in the gentle conviction that rises when you try to go back to your old patterns and something in you just cannot, in the people I am sending who will reflect back to you what I see when I look at you. Yes, I will do that. I will place voices of grace in your path, not to flatter you, but to re-anchor you to be mirrors of the truth until you can hold it fully for yourself. Your healing will not look like perfection. It will look like presence. Like you staying with yourself when you used to abandon yourself. Like you offering tenderness to your own soul instead of critique. Like you speaking truth to yourself when shame tries to take the mic again. And I will be there in every word, in every breath, in every moment where you choose love over fear. I am the one who restores your soul. And even now, the restoration is underway. Let's bring this truth closer to your daily life now, because I see how you carry this ache. Not just in your thoughts, but in your body, your habits, your time. I see the way your shoulders stay tense even when you are alone. I see the way you overextend yourself, hoping that being needed will somehow prove you are worth keeping. I see the way you delay rest until every task is done, like rest is something you have to earn. But I never told you to live this way. I never asked you to prove your right to exist through exhaustion. I created your body to carry glory, not guilt. You were not designed for endless output. You were made in my image, crafted to walk in rhythm, not rush. Even in the garden before there was sin, there was still rest, still Sabbath, still breath. I didn't wait until humanity fell to introduce mercy. I built it into your design from the start, so if your days are filled with striving, I am not in that. If your soul is starving, something is misaligned. And I don't say that with blame. I say it with invitation. Come back to rhythm. Come back to presence. Come back to me this morning. I want you to release the pressure to be okay all the time. I never asked you to carry that. What I am asking is much simpler, much deeper. To be honest with me, to pause long enough to feel what you have been pushing down, to name the things that ache so I can begin to heal them. You don't have to fix your emotions before bringing them to me. Bring them raw, and I will meet you there. You don't have to explain why you are overwhelmed. I already know, and I am not disappointed. I am with you. Let's get practical. I am asking you to create space today, not for performance, but for presence. Even 10 minutes where you step outside the noise, where you breathe and let your heart come home. This isn't about escaping responsibility. It is about restoring alignment, because you function best when you are rooted in me, not running on empty. When your identity flows from connection, not from outcomes. When you remember that gentleness is your new strength, not just something you give to others, but something you finally offer to yourself. This is how the lie starts to die. When you live in a way that refuses to agree with it anymore. When you make choices that say, I was worth saving. When you rest like someone whose value isn't in question. When you say no like someone who has permission to matter. When you show up in the world not trying to prove your existence, but simply inhabiting it with grace. This is the life I am inviting you to walk in now, not rushed, not ruled by fear, but grounded in the truth that I did not make a mistake when I made you. I didn't mess up your wiring. I didn't miscalculate your timing. I didn't overlook something essential. You are not lacking what you need. You have just forgotten how to receive it. So, let me remind you again gently. I am your source. Not your ability, not your productivity, not your reputation, but me. And when you live from that place, when you abide in my presence like a branch in the vine, your life begins to flow instead of fight. That is what I want for you. Not just survival, not just tolerance, but flow, fruit that comes not from force, but from intimacy. I want to talk to you now about the masks, the quiet, invisible ones you have worn for so long that you sometimes forget they are even there. The one called the strong one because it felt safer to hold everyone else's pieces than to let anyone see your own. The one called the easy one because keeping the peace felt more survivable than telling the truth. The one called the useful one because as long as you were needed, you could ignore the ache of not feeling wanted. These masks weren't born from pride. They were born from pain. They were shields you created to survive moments where your real self didn't feel safe enough to be seen. But my child, I never asked you to become anyone else in order to be loved. You are not strong because you hide your needs. You are strong because you dare to feel and still remain tender. You are not easy because you go along with everything. You are gracious, but you also carry fire in your bones. And you are not only useful, you are beautiful. Even when you are not producing a single thing, none of these roles you have played are your identity. They were costumes worn in seasons of scarcity, but you are entering a season of abundance now, a place where you can finally lay them down. Let me tell you something sacred. You are not what drained you. You are not defined by the weight you carried or the silence you endured. You are not the sum of the roles others needed you to play. You are mine, not a concept, not a project, not a responsibility. Mine, a person full of complexity and nuance and divine fingerprints. And I want all of you, not just the polished parts, not just the parts that serve others, not just the version that makes everything easier for everyone else. I want the you who breaks down behind closed doors, the you who longs to be known without having to explain yourself. That is the you I died for. That is the you I stay with. It is time to come out of hiding, not in some dramatic way, but gently, subtly, in how you speak, a little more freely, in how you take up a little more space in the room, in how you stop shrinking to make others comfortable. I am not asking you to be loud. I am asking you to be true, because every time you choose truth over image, healing happens. Every time you let yourself be seen, the lie loses its grip. And yes, I know that letting go of those masks can feel disorienting. They have kept you safe for a long time, but you are safe with me now, safer than you have ever been. You don't need a shield to approach your own father. You can come bare-faced, heart exposed, voice trembling, and still be fully embraced. I don't flinch when you bring me your real self. I rejoice. I am rebuilding your sense of identity, one honest moment at a time. You are not late, you are not behind. Healing takes the time it takes, and I am patient. I know how long you had to suppress parts of yourself just to survive. But now, in my presence, you can start becoming again, not recreating a new version to impress others, but uncovering the real one that has been there all along. The one I knit together in your mother's womb. The one I called very good. Now that the masks are beginning to fall, let me guide you into something deeper, a sacred rhythm of restoration. I am not just healing what was broken. I am inviting you to walk differently from here, not by force, not by striving, but by learning how to stay with me moment by moment. This is the part where you start building your life from the inside out, not from the expectations of others. This is where you begin to discern what is sacred from what is simply loud. And here is where I become your rhythm, not your rescue. It starts simply, not with huge gestures, but with sacred habits, with mornings where your first thought isn't self-criticism, but connection, with days where you pause, not because everything is done, but because you are allowed to pause, with prayers that sound less like polished declarations and more like, God, I am still here. God, I am tired. God, thank you. You don't have to be eloquent to be close to me. I am not moved by fancy words. I am moved by honesty. So, take one intentional step today, just one. Maybe it is journaling what you are feeling instead of stuffing it down. Maybe it is going for a short walk where your mind can breathe again. Maybe it is saying no to something you used to say yes to out of fear. Whatever it is, make it sacred. Let it become your yes to the truth that you were made with care, not confusion. Let your daily life become a quiet rebellion against the lie that you have to be someone else to be acceptable. I am teaching you how to tend to your own soul the way I tend to you, gently, consistently, with patience. That means releasing the old agreements, those silent contracts you made with shame. Agreements like I must always be the strong one, or my needs inconvenience others, or if I am not useful, I am nothing. My love is dismantling those lines, not just in your theology, but in your schedule, your decisions, your breath. This is how you return to yourself, by returning to me, and this rhythm I am giving you. It is not rigid. It is not another list of spiritual tasks. It is more like a divine heartbeat you start to recognize in your own pace, a whisper you start to follow instead of the noise, a way of being that says, I belong here even in process. I am not waiting for you at the finish line. I am walking beside you in every imperfect, beautiful step. This is where spiritual maturity begins, not in performance, but in presence. In how you come back to me again and again, even when you don't feel worthy, in how you begin to honor your capacity instead of pushing past it, in how you build habits of kindness toward yourself, not out of selfishness, but because your soul is mine and it matters. I have called you to love your neighbor as yourself. But how can you love others well when you are not yet convinced you are worthy of love too? So, here is my gentle instruction for today. Walk slowly, listen often, breathe deeply. Don't rush past your heart on the way to productivity. You are allowed to build your life around my voice, not the world's demands. I never said you had to run to prove your faithfulness. I just said, abide in me. And if abiding feels unfamiliar right now, that is okay. You are learning. You are healing. You are remembering what it means to be a soul and not just a shell. Let every small return to me today remind you that you were never a mistake and you are not a project. I am not trying to fix you. I am forming you gently, daily, lovingly. Let me tell you what is happening now, even if you don't see it yet. My favor is moving toward you. Not because you earned it, not because you got everything right, but because you finally let me draw near to the parts of you that felt disqualified. You invited me into the places where shame once ruled, and now what has been happening inside your heart is about to ripple outward quietly at first, then unmistakably, because when identity is restored, everything starts to shift. You are going to start seeing the world differently. You will notice things that used to drain you no longer have the same hold. Conversations where you once stayed silent will now have a different strength. The way you walk into a room will change, not with arrogance, but with the quiet dignity of someone who knows they were meant to be there. You will make decisions based not on guilt or fear, but on alignment. Your yes will mean something again, and your no will be a holy act of self-respect. Don't be surprised when people notice. Don't be surprised when old patterns stop working. Some may not understand your growth, especially those who were more comfortable with the version of you that stayed small. That is okay. You are not responsible for managing everyone else's comfort. You are responsible for being faithful to the truth I have revealed to you. And the truth is this: you are not who you used to pretend to be. You are mine fully, and you don't owe anyone an explanation for becoming whole. That doesn't mean you will not feel resistance. It just means you will recognize it for what it is and walk through it anyway. The battles that once paralyzed you will no longer own you, because now you know your existence is not an accident. It is an assignment. You are not here to prove your worth. You are here to reflect my heart, and even the wounds you carry, the ones that once shamed you, are becoming places of power. Not because the pain was good, but because I am. And where my spirit is, there is freedom. So yes, I am freeing you from the cycles that kept you stuck, from the mental loops that told you that you were too late, too broken, too complicated, from the expectations that never left room for your humanity. You don't have to live on the edge of burnout to feel like you are doing enough. You don't have to shapeshift to be accepted. You don't have to keep giving parts of yourself away just to feel like you belong. You already belong. You belong to me. And now that you know that, the way you engage with the world will begin to reflect it. Your boundaries will no longer feel like guilt. They will feel like obedience. Your rest will no longer feel like laziness. It will feel like worship. Your truth will no longer feel like rebellion. It will feel like return. That is what happens when you live rooted in grace instead of grasping for validation. That is what happens when the lie of mistake is replaced with the reality of masterpiece. And this isn't the end. This is only the beginning. I am sending you forward not to prove yourself, but to be yourself fully, freely, and faithfully. You carry my spirit. You reflect my image. You were never a side thought. You were never a second draft. You were never a backup plan. You were chosen, appointed, anointed. Let's breathe together now, deeper than the noise, quieter than the self-judgment. Let it settle into you. You are allowed to exhale. You have been holding your breath for far too long, waiting for the moment it would all finally feel safe enough to just be. That moment is here, not because everything outside of you is perfect, but because I am here inside you. And where I dwell, fear loses its authority. You are not alone anymore. Not even in the hidden corners of your soul. My spirit isn't hovering somewhere far off, waiting for you to perform your way into my presence. I am breath. I am with you in your inhale, and I will not leave in your exhale. I do not visit. I dwell, and I don't just walk with the parts of you that feel holy. I walk with your questions, your fatigue, your disappointment. I am not afraid of your full humanity. I entered it myself. This morning, I want to teach you a different kind of rhythm, a daily way of being that starts not with pressure, but with presence. Before the demands of the world come knocking, let me be the one who meets you. Before you decide what today will require from you, pause and ask me what I want to give you, because I always start with giving. I am not your taskmaster. I am your source, and if you are always trying to pull strength from empty wells, you will keep collapsing. But if you let my spirit become your breath, not your last resort, but your first response, everything changes. Let the world call it weakness. When you pause, let them misunderstand your quiet, your rest, your need for time with me. They don't know what I am building in you, but you do. You are starting to feel it. The difference between surviving and being sustained. The difference between performing and abiding. The difference between being tolerated and being loved. And now that you have tasted it, you cannot go back. The old way doesn't fit anymore. That is a holy sign. So when you feel the familiar voices rise again, the ones that say you should be doing more, you are falling behind. You are not enough. Pause. Inhale slowly. Exhale gently. And remember this. I never said those things to you. I never called you a mistake. I never asked you to outrun your limits. I never withheld love until you earned it. Those were the voices of a broken world, not the voice of your Father. And now you are learning how to listen differently, to discern the whisper of grace in a culture of noise, to receive peace as permission, not a reward. This is spiritual maturity, not how much you know, but how full you allow yourself to be loved. And love is what rewrites the lies, not once but again and again, every day, until the echo of truth becomes the loudest sound in your heart. Let today be another day where that echo grows, where you choose stillness, not because everything is okay, but because you are starting to believe you are, where you stop trying to earn your breath and simply receive it. Let my spirit be the rhythm that carries you forward, not because you are strong, but because I am, and I am with you. Come close now. Let me hold you with words you didn't know you needed this morning. You made it through so much just to arrive here, reading this, breathing this in, trying to believe me again, and I am proud of you. Not because you were flawless, but because you didn't stop walking, even when doubt whispered. Even when shame shouted, even when nothing made sense, and everything felt too loud inside, you kept walking, and that quiet perseverance, I see it. I bless it. I am building something eternal with it. This is where I place my seal over you. Not a seal of perfection, a seal of belonging, a divine marking that says mine. You belong to me not as an idea, not as a temporary guest, but as a beloved child. You don't have to check the mirror to see if you are worthy today. You don't have to look at your calendar to measure your value. I already settled the question, and the answer was never conditional. It was always love. You were never a mistake. Let that truth carry you now, not just as a comforting phrase, but as a foundation. Let it sit beneath every conversation, every task, every challenge. Let it interrupt the lies mid-sentence. Let it return to your memory when you feel out of place. Let it become your baseline, because that is what it is to me. You were not only intentional, you were essential. The world may have tried to treat you as replaceable, but I don't make anything I don't intend to carry to completion. And yes, you will still have days when doubt knocks on your door again. But you are different now. Not because everything is fixed, but because you are anchored, rooted in a love that doesn't shift when you do, grounded in a truth that doesn't waver when others forget your name. You are not here to chase approval. You are here to reflect light, and you will. So rise into this day, not with pressure, but with peace, not with fear, but with fullness. This is the kind of wholeness that no one can steal, because it wasn't given to you by people. It was given by me. It doesn't expire. It doesn't run dry. It grows, and so will you. You are seen. You are loved. You are carried. And every breath you take today is further proof. You were never a mistake. Amen. If these words found the part of you that needed to be reminded you belong, then don't let them stay quiet. Let your response echo what is awakening inside you. Someone else is still trying to believe they are not a mistake. Share the truth you just received.